Hello, everybody. We are going to go through just a quick setup for the isometric project, just to make sure everybody understands what I'm doing, what the expectation is, so that everybody gets everything set up properly, and then go through just the expectation of what you should be doing when I say changing the grid value to something lower, okay, and then working in detail, okay. So here we are in Gravit. I have a new file. If I go to the page, look, right now this is an infinite canvas. So I can go through and I can change that to 1,000 by 1,000, okay, and change that to something that has page edges, and that's what needs to be done. You want this to be 1,000 by 1,000, okay, and then you can zoom in, zoom out as needed, going through those, okay. The buttons I'm using there are Command plus and Command minus. This is a good project to get used to those. Also, a shortcut for moving around the page. Let's just draw a shape. Draw a simple shape, right? Moving around the page, you have the ability to go in and just Command plus, Command minus, and zoom in, and then also by holding the space bar, okay, you can kind of nudge around, and all I'm doing is clicking and dragging, right, and clicking and dragging, so you can work around your page without zooming out and zooming in and zooming out and zooming in. This is a little bit quicker, okay. Okay, now we're going to go through and delete that. All right, we'll turn the grid on. Our focus will shift to over here with the document, and we'll go grid. So pixels is what we want, all right, and we want to turn on isometric to get the settings that we want. So right now, we are set to 20, all right, and like I said, you can go to 24 and then negative 24 to set that up, and it kind of turns it so it's a little more flat of an angle. Okay, I think 24 is a good number. It's right in between that 20 and 30. So here we are. Okay, here's our page. Okay, and we have 50 units across, right? Because 1,000 divided by 20 is 50. All right, so you have 50 units across, and I can go through and draw an object. And for the purpose of this, I'm going to make sure my snap is on. Use snap, snap zones. You can enable snap zones and try those. But I'm just going to go through and draw a cube, kind of like I'm drawing a building, okay? And I'm going to go in and draw this, right? Now I can go in and start by drawing up here. And I don't like necessarily starting on this corner, okay, but I can if I want, right? I'm going to go over here because that's going to get rid of that, right? So don't do that, okay? You might want to start up here and then go down, okay? And notice I'm following the grid lines each time, okay? And if I'm drawing a perfect cube, all right, that perfect cube is going to be on the same vertical, okay? So we want to make sure that all of these lines, so I'm going to follow this one up. I'm going to come down with my eye here, right? I'm going to start there, all right, and draw the rest of this cube, right? So that gives me 3 objects, okay? 3 diamond shapes that when they're put together, all right, when they're put together, they look like a cube, okay? Now, I'm going to move them back. All right, I could probably just be going Command Z. And then I can color those as needed. Remember the coloring, all right? The coloring is this, right? So you pick a hue, okay? And then the upper one, right? I would make all of these colors, all of the fills on those, right? Click on here, right, to get the cursor and move it into there and color all of those. So that way, when you select the top to change it, you're going to go in and select something lighter, right, in that same hue, and not move the slider. Don't move the slider, okay? So this one here, right? If I want the shadow, okay, I'm going to come in here and move this a little darker, okay? So that's how I do that shape, all right? So now, you know, I can go through and I can add, zoom in, and I want to add some white lines, right? And I can go in and turn off, actually, I'm going to go in and make this something a little different, and we're just going to add details, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of them, and in order for my details to make sense, I got to kind of make the borders a white, okay? So we're just going to add almost a texture to this, right? To this side, all right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a white line, and I'm going to draw in white. I'm going to draw in black first, and I'm going to hit escape. All right, click, and I'm going to draw again. All right, go down and hit escape. Click, escape. And if I wanted to go a little bit faster, I think I could hit the P tool. So I'm going to go escape and P, and that brings me back to the pen. All right, so if you're doing repetitive things, escape to get out of the tool, and P is the quick item for the tool. And the way you find the quick item is you go over it, hover over it, and it says P right at the upper right-hand corner of that window that pops up. See that little P up there? I don't think I can get to it because it disappears when I go over it. But that P, it shows you the shortcut command. So we'll hit P again. And, you know, knowing that and, you know, knowing a couple of these, you know, for example, I'd probably get used to using V for the pointer tool and then using P for that, okay? Is there one for snap? Yeah, well, it's Shift F10. That upper arrow is the Shift key. So let's just go back, right? Escape, P, and we'll finish drawing these. All right. And it's okay that they're black now, right? Escape, and we'll do one more. All right. And I could go through and kind of copy this or figure this out, how to copy it. But for right now, all right, I'm going to select all of these. And the easiest way to select all of them is just to go across with a box and then deselect the rectangle. So now I have only those. Notice how that box jumped in and deselected the rectangle. So I'm going to go in here and we're going to select white. Okay. All right. Let me go back one step. No, it didn't do it. Then we'll go forward one step. Redo change border properties. Okay. Now, go in again. Let's see if we can do this quickly. All right. Command C, right, makes a copy of what we just made. Wait, I don't want that. I am selected. I just did Command Z. So what it did was it went back to the selection of the black items, and we're going to go in and do white on these. But the problem is I don't think it's selected. So let's see what happens. Let's go Command V. Oh, it did paste it. Okay, good. All right. So now let's see what we get if we, there's that new autosave feature. All right. And I'm taking the rotation tool and rotating it, and I don't think it's gonna, well, maybe it will. Yeah, I don't like how this lines up. I was thinking I could get it to line up and go this way. This one would actually work for, no, it wouldn't, because it doesn't follow that line. So by continuing, all right, let's do this. We'll go here and we'll save some time and we will hit escape and we will select this. Nope, we'll just select that one line. So we'll drag a box over that and then we'll delete, or we'll get rid of the box there. Why is that selecting the whole box? I don't want that. There we go. So we'll go Command C, right? Or we can hold Alt and drag it down, and hold Shift and drag it down. okay? And then I wonder if there is a transform, no, group selection, create path. I'm looking for repeat. There is no repeat. So what I can do, right, let's move this out of the way, right? I'll select both of these and I'll go through and I'll do 2 at a time. And now I can go through and select 4 of those and we'll do 4 at a time. And I'm holding Alt and Shift. Alt makes the copy and Shift makes the line stay in a vertical. Okay, so if I hold Shift without Alt, it makes a copy, but it doesn't copy it. I'm sorry, it moves it in a line, but it doesn't copy it. Okay, so we're learning, some skills that'll apply in Illustrator when we, if you do go to Illustrator, but these are common design shortcuts. Okay, so let's move this back to there. Come on. There we are. Okay, so I'll do the same technique again, right? Select all of those lines, hold Command, deselect the shape behind it, and that's not working. Hold Shift, and now we have just the line, and now we'll go borders and change that to white so they match, right? So now I have kind of this grid thing going on, okay? And you can look at your work by going View, Original View, no, sorry. Command 0 will move in. So, this is how you would do maybe windows on a building, all right? And you can turn this isometric off, all right, and see how that looks as a shape, okay? And make your adjustments from there, okay? One last thing I wanted to show you, which is the key to this video. I wanted to make sure that everybody knew what I meant when I said reduce the value. Okay, so if I reduce this value from 20 to 5, right, you're going to see inside of this, I really don't have detail inside of one of these shapes, but if I reduce the value to 5, I now have 5 shapes inside of here, 5 marks in which I can go in and select and draw on those shapes. Now, right now, I don't want to draw in black, right? I want to change this to white, all right? And I just want to draw, right? And I am making right now, see that little angle there? I might want to get rid of that, okay? I might want to get rid of that. So I can select all those later, right? I can do escape. I can, if I wanted to just make a bunch of these and draw those out, I could do that. And I could make I would probably help myself by changing the border, right? Here's the settings in here, right? Here's the end, right? So the end, it's going to either add a little bit to the outside, which what we're looking at here is see this little corner, right? And what that's doing is adding a little extra that I don't want, okay? So I'm going to select that. I'm going to go to border, change the settings. All right, and I can go in and do this. These joints are where it curves, but if I do this end that ends at the point, it's not going to overflow on that one, okay? So now I can take this one. This one's a model citizen, as they say, and I can take this, hold Alt and Shift, and move it. Maybe. Feels like I'm... There we go. So I want to make this in every other design, right? And I'm just going through and making copies. And if I feel like getting this, I can go here, hold Shift and get 2 of those, and hold Alt and go up 2, right? Now I'm going to go in here, and you'll see what this pattern starts to look like. Right? This was my idea. This is actually the pattern in CAD for Earth. So it's kind of funny. So what I'm doing is I want to take this, and now I can go in and select that, and I'll go transform, rotate 90 degrees. No, I want to rotate it. No, this isn't going to work. I'm going to redraw a line because I want to follow the snap. I was going to try and rotate it, all right? But see, this is what happens, right? I had a plan, it didn't work. Here's the black sign. So you see where those lines end up, right? So we've set those lines, and they in the borders that adopted this, right? So we'll go ends there, and then that way it's not going to overlap, and you see actually what's going on with that, okay? And then for the stroke color, okay, now I'm going to leave, no, I'm not going to leave the black on. Let's change it now because I'm going to make copies of that, okay? So now I'm going to go back into here, and I made a copy, and I'm going to go through and do copies of this. Hold, click, drag, hold Alt, right? Click, drag, hold Alt, okay? Click, drag, hold Alt, all right? And if I had another click, drag, hold Alt, if I had another reason to go in, I could still get half of that, and I could even go in and say, all right, on this border, right, I need to click off of the object, click the back to get the settings on the grid, right? But I could go in and set 2.5 and get another half, right? So if you look at this, now this is going to throw off the top here, right? But within my grid, I can get another 4 boxes, okay? If I go here, I can go to, say, 1, right? And then get 5 boxes in between. Okay, so this is kind of how you're going to zoom in and make different items fit the grid without kind of guessing where they go, right? So you kind of do have to go in, and remember that original was here, 20, right? That was there, and now I have more details than inside the 20, okay? And now I can kind of go in here and say, all right, this, hold Alt, and now, but the problem is I can't necessarily snap that, all right? Well, it worked, all right? But, you know, if you want to see those lines, all right, I think it's snapping to something that is, yeah, see? It's not snapping properly there, all right? So you got to go in, click off of this object with nothing selected. You can change that. And if you want it in between, you can just do 10, right? And there you go. So that's that. And then now I can go in and hold Alt and drag that, right? Click, drag it, hold Alt, click, drag it, hold Alt, right? Click, drag it, hold Alt. And then I'm just kind of working through, right? This feels like the smartest way to do this, okay? Because I don't have to set the settings on anything, right? I'm just going through and making a pattern. And maybe what I would do is I would go through and make another pattern, all right? So that's where we are, right? That's how you kind of manage the grid, all right? Now don't forget that if you wanted to go through and set this up, you could go in and, you know, set up folders, and all that wonderful stuff. All right? Thank you very much.